Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. We're coming to you from Preferred Building Systems here in Claremont, and I'm now joined by Mark McLean, who's a project manager here. Hi, Mark.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining me. I'm excited to hear about your job. How long have you been with Preferred Building Systems?
I've been here, I'm going on my 11th year.
Wonderful.
I've been in the industry for 27 years.
Wow, that's fantastic. So talk about being a project manager. What's that mean to this business? What's it mean to your customers and clients?
What it does is I follow up with the sales team and the customer, get all the product information ready for production, purchasing, answer all the questions that are not answered.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And you focus both commercial and residential?
I'm concentrating mostly on residential. In my past, I have worked on commercial, but I'm concentrating on residential now.
How important is it for you to stay up to date on housing trends?
It's important to know the product that's out there, new products that are coming out, customer requests.
So sometimes you might get a contact from a customer that says, here's a picture of something we're interested in doing. Can you make it happen?
We try to get that product for the person. Yep.
Sure. And are you working hand in hand with the design team, or is that the later stages?
Design team, I am working hand in hand with them.
Yep. And what are some of the things that you're working on with them?
Such things as making a window change, perhaps. They might want a smaller window, bigger window, so I have to give that information to design.
Sure.
And purchasing as well.
And can they make changes up until it hits the factory, or can you make changes after the factory?
They can make some changes after, but the production floor gets a little upset with that.
I'm sure.
Yep.
You walk in a little bit head down a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the projects you've worked on residentially. Any that really stick out, that are unique or interesting?
We did take one down to Martha's Vineyard a couple years back.
Whoa,
so that was
on a ferry?
Yep, on the barges actually.
Wow.
It was 7 modules, and that was constructed out on the island in 3 days, putting it together.
Did you get to go and see it happen?
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That was a cool trip to go on.
And they're all different sizes that you're working on.
Correct. I mean, the modules run from 14 feet wide to 60 feet is our longest.
And what are some of the perks of working for Preferred Building Systems?
It's close by home. That's
okay,
a
good.
perk.
Good.
It's a very interesting company, and it's fun. Every day is different. So.
Yeah, every day is different. Every client must be different too.
Yes.
Thanks, Mark. I'm now joined by another project manager here at Preferred Building System, Matt Cox. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Good. First off, I want to thank you for your service. You just got back from deployment, and I think it's worth mentioning that Preferred Building Systems supported your time deployed. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I mean, every time I leave, this is the second time I left from this company with a deployment. I'm usually gone between 9 and 11 months. They've been accepting of it. They've let me have my time off before I leave, and it's been great to come back to a job and pick up where I left off.
It must take you a little bit of time to adjust back into what are the projects that have been done since you've been gone and things like that. A wonderful perk of your job that they allow for that to happen.
It is. Actually, I've picked up some jobs. I left and then picked right back up where I left off when we started building them
So you just need a little bit of recap, what had happened in a little bit of time. Wonderful. Talk about your professional history getting to this point of working here.
So I got my associates May of 2013 from NHTI. I started working here, I believe it was June of that year. On the floor, actually, I was hired to be part of the production design team, but I had to work on the floor first for a couple months. I proved my time. I worked here for 3 months during that period. From then, I went into the production side of the house, started doing production prints. Then I moved into prelim design. I did the prelims for a while. I got deployed in 2015-16. I ended up coming home. I wanted to get my bachelor's degree, so I talked to the company. I moved down to Alabama, went to Auburn University.
Cool.
During that period, the company let me work part-time, remotely. I still worked for them while I was down there. I graduated in 2019 with my bachelor's degree in building science, and then they hired me on as a project manager.
They really like you. They really want you part of it, no matter where you are in the whole world. They'll keep you.
True.
That's fantastic. Talk about your day-to-day of being a project manager. What are some of the responsibilities, tasks that go into your job?
So for me, estimating, I do contract documents. I design because I still have that history.
Sure.
So for the multifamily, I take a lot of that in because it helps when you're doing the other stuff.
So talk about being a commercial project manager. What goes into the day-to-day of that job?
So being a commercial project manager, you worry more about the International Building Code versus IRC, so there's a lot more restrictions.
Right.
We have a lot of different between business use group and residential use group. Is it up to code? Does it work for us? How do we separate the building up into multiple boxes in order to make it work?
Right, because it's a lot more transportation to put a commercial.
It is a lot more
Yeah.
transportation. Normally the buildings are bigger. We have standard building specs here. Usually our normal standard box is 13.5. Commercial projects will vary anywhere from 10 feet wide boxes to 15.6 boxes. To try to make the footprint of that building that somebody is looking for
Sure.
fit on that foundation.
And how much do you have to know about the design of what that commercial building is being used for? For example, if it's a restaurant, it's going to be set up much different than a doctor's office would be.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the electronic component of it, we typically mainly focus on business use group and residential, but we have had that where we'll leave it open in those areas.
So obviously there's a housing shortage amongst a lot of New England, and you work a lot with building or creating these apartment buildings that are going up in a lot of different places. Talk about working on those. I mean, some of these are huge apartment complexes.
Yeah, so we'll do anything from a simple house to a duplex. Anything over a 3-unit house goes into from a townhouse goes into apartment complex, as the one behind you.
Yep.
There's 72 apartment units. So
72. And then you're working in the not only the technical side of it, but a little bit of the design of how that's being created?
Depends on what you come to us with a plan. So I've done it anywhere where, you give us a plan, I break it up into the modular aspects of it, and I will try to work within your boundaries, obviously, if you're going to a normal architect, you're not thinking about building modular. So we have to break it up that way. So I've transform their plan to the best of our ability into a modular portion, but I've also gone from hey, this is kind of what we're looking for a building, and I've given them a design to start with and let them develop it off of what we provide for a plan.
So you're working a lot with the customer, but then also the design team here as well.
Absolutely. I prefer to work more with the builder because,
Sure.
That's our customer, but the homeowner has a lot of say in what they want for a house.
Yep.
So it's both ways.
Interesting. Well, Matt, really interesting. Again, thank you for your service, and thanks for the overview of working here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You can learn more at their website, preferredbuildings.com. And thank you to the New London Barn Playhouse for hosting us as they kick off their 92nd summer season, the oldest continuously operating summer theater in New Hampshire. Join us next week for another edition of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. We'll make our annual visit to Spring Ledge Farm in New London. Our next replay game of the week is the Mount Royal Academy at Sunapee girls basketball game. All of our games replay at noon and 7 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays. Check out ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date schedules and on-demand viewing of all of our shows. I want to thank the good folks here at the New London Barn Playhouse, where their mission is to enrich and entertain our community with the highest quality theater created by talented emerging artists in collaboration with accomplished professionals. They're another great local business that supports your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week at the same time.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. the Innertown Record.